Recap in minutes. In today's video, we will be going to enjoy an action crime movie entitled, On the Ropes. There will be spoilers ahead, chill out and enjoy. At the beginning of the movie we see two kids fighting in the boxing ring. The older kid has beaten the younger one very hard. Their coach was standing there and appreciated his punch strikes. That coach was actually their father, who was appreciating the skills and endurance of his kids. The scene shifts to the two men, John and Lee, who were outside of a room. Apparently they are there to kill or steal something, but they intrude on the intimate couple and start beating the man. This man was Mark Biggs, who works for a Mafia head named Bruno. When he asks them the reason, they inform him of a federal raid on their shipment and accuse him of being a federal informant. Mark refuses these allegations and asks them about their men's loyalty. Lee got angry and beat him over his suspicions of his gang members. At the same moment, that woman came from the bathroom, points gun at them, and asked them to throw their guns on the bee. She then took their wallets at gunpoint. Seeing this, they starts laughing at one another, but that man Mark takes advantage of the situation and starts to fight with them. After some time, they overcame him and Lee killed him in this fight. John raises his concerns that the death of Mark will create a problem in the business and peace in the gangs. When they go back to their father and tell him about this murder of Bruno's gang man, he gets angry at Lee and asks him to be respectful and obedient in fulfilling the orders. He expresses his wish to make John his successor during these talks. Upon this, Lee gets furious because he does not like John being the new boss in the family, and goes out of the room. Now their father talks to John and advises him to get the family and business together. He also says to keep his hot-headed brother Lee alongside him in this whole journey. The detectives come to the crime scene and find out that the dead man was Mark Biggs. They also examine the surveillance photos of Lee and John. On the other side, Lee was beating one of his men on the suspicion of being an FBI informant and calling him a rat. He was actually struggling to find out the traitor in their group, but John was asking him to stop the violence. In the meantime, one of their contractors and another Mafia boss named Bruno came there. He asked for his gun shipment and the raid on that. He also asks them about the killing of Mark. When things get heated up, Lee punches him in the face and they pull the gun on one another. He goes back when John assures him that the shipment will arrive in the next week. Later that night, John goes to see his girlfriend Chloe, who was practicing swan dance with her fellow girls. In the meantime, Lee was planning to attack John because of his jealousy to overcome the family business, and being him selected as the new boss. Lee, with one of his friends, plans to meet Bruno, whom he had punched before that night. While Bruno was meeting with Angelo and asking him to hand over Lee to him for his revenge. Angelo calms him down and requests some time to settle things with their boys. Bruno tells him that his boys will break the peace of their business because they already have killed his man Mark Biggs. Angelo assured him of the compensation for his loss of the shipment and his man. Bruno appreciates his character and peace to handle the business, but he raises his concerns for the future leader of Angelo's family after him. Angelo tells him that he is going to announce John as the head of their business and family. Bruno thinks of this decision as a joke and goes back. He thought John is a non-serious person. After meeting Angelo, Bruno went to see Lee, who was going to make some kind of deal with Bruno. At the same time, John was in his room with his girlfriend and told him that he was offered to be the head of the business. They both discuss refusing this responsibility. Chloe reminds him that they already have decided and plan to not join this business. John says he will tell his dad at the right time and she leaves. In the next scene we see Lee and John meet at the funeral of their father. Lee congratulates John on being selected as the boss and asks to have a party, which he refuses and tells him to lay low. After his departure, the detective comes to offer his condolences to John. After some time, we see that John and his men go to a club where his brother Lee was waiting for them. There they give everyone a drug pill that has a dizzy and shaky effect on the mind of John. At this moment Lee congratulates him again and asks him to give a speech. John gets up and asks for an excuse to go to the washroom. Lee sends a man behind him. John vomits in the washroom. In the meantime he has a phone call from his girlfriend Chloe. When she finds out that he is drunk and at the party in the club, she hangs up. After this there comes Lee's man, who starts fighting with John to kill him. John fights back and after some time he kills him. Another two men come in there with knives in their hands to kill John. He fights with them too and kills them. When he was getting back from there, another two of Lee's men saw him and followed him. John turns back and faces another man with a gun. He snatches his gun and starts killing those men. At that time, Lee comes there and takes John outside of the club. They were trying to run from the shooting scene, but Lee stops him and points the piston at John. John asks him what and why he is doing, but he fires. Lee comes to John and tells him that he was very hard working for his father, but he picked you. He picked up the necklace and went from there. In the next scene, we see Chloe's flat and the arrival of that detective Vercetti there. He asks her to give him a private moment to have a conversation with her about John. He tells her that there was a shooting at the nightclub the night before and it is believed that there was John. He suspected John to be one of the shooters. Chloe did not accept this to be true and does not accept John as a killer. She asks him to leave her alone if he does not have any warrant. While on the other side, John was in the hospital handcuffed to the bed. The doctor tells him about his medical condition and that he was unconscious for more than a day. He asks him to call him or the nurse in need. He also informs him that there were policemen outside for their investigation and goes from there. The policemen come to John's bed and investigate his name and presence at the club, but he says he doesn't know anything. He asked them to send the doctor in because he was feeling dizzy. There we see Lee and one of his men sitting in the car, who were talking about the loyal men of John and their plan to get revenge on Bruno for John. Lee thinks that it will be beneficial for them if John's men and Bruno's men fight. At this moment, his friend receives a call in which probably the news of John was told. After they got aware that John was alive, they sent 2 of their men to the hospital where John was on the bed. John saw them and pretended to be asleep. They tried to inject poison into his body, but he woke up and fought with them. He kills them after the intense fighting and won with the same injection. In the next scene, we see Lee on the phone call with Bruno. They were discussing how to handle and kill John. One of Bruno's men was asking him if he would spare him so he would provide some information about John. After the information he gave, they get ready and armed up to go to find John. On the other side, John comes to her flat, picks up his important luggage and leaves. He went to his girlfriend's dance floor place to take her, but at the same time Bruno's men arrived there. He started fighting and killing them there. After some time, when one of Bruno's men does not see any man coming out of the building, he himself goes inside. He finds John and starts fighting there too. John kills him with the pencil and wakes Chloe up and gets out from there. In the car she breaks up with him over these chaotic situations. After some time, John goes to the same brothel room where they killed Mark Biggs. He knocks at the door but the woman shouts to move away from the door. After continuous knocking, Tony opens up. John punched him at once on his nose and asked the lady to go out. He comes to Tony and asks about the whereabouts of his uncle Bruno. He goes there, calls Bruno out as being Lee on the phone call and kills him outside of his warehouse. After the killing, John goes to the shore and sits quietly there. The same detective comes there and asks for his help to raid the Mafia's business. And in return he helps him by showing the pictures of Lee killing their father. John tells him the secrets of the business and warehouse addresses. He calls Lee and tells him that he knows everything now. Lee wanted to have a one-on-one fight which John accepted and asked him to come to the same ring where they used to practice before. When they arrive there, John shows Lee his pictures of where he was killing their father. Lee tells him that he knows who gave him these pictures and John says that he also knows that this was a lie. He said the cop used us and now we should stop being violent with each other. He wanted to leave the place but Lee pointed a gun at him to get in the ring to have a one-on-one fight. John asks him to stop being the kid anymore but Lee refuses and starts to fight. In the middle of the fight when John fell and Lee told him to stay down but he got up. This time John beats him up very hard and takes back his necklace. In the meantime Lee picks up the gun and tries to shoot at John. Observing this, John picked up his gun and shot Lee. After this we see John and Detective Brissetti sitting at the bar. John congratulates him on his promotion and asks him about Chloe, which he said he does not know. The movie ends when John was walking in the hallway to see Chloe. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos like this and to help the channel grow.